Well, hello, everyone. It's Susan Thornton, the CEO of the Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation, and it is an honor and a privilege to welcome you to our September International Patient Conference today. It's always delightful to have everyone here, and we'd like to welcome you no matter where you're coming from around the world. It's so exciting to have people joining us from the comfort of their home, but as part of our international community. And it's really great to be able to bring this program to everyone every year. So a little bit about today's agenda. Here we are with a welcome. I will also do a bit of a Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation update for everyone. We'll do, this year we have a newly diagnosed session. So if you're a newly diagnosed person, that will be right up your alley. It'll help you get some level setting there. And then we'll jump into the basics of cutaneous lymphomas. And these are presented in a variety of languages, so you get to choose which is your native language. We've tried to build the library to have as many languages as we can, so they're easy to understand. And they're all delivered by experts in cutaneous lymphoma from around the world. And then we'll have our open question and answer session with our cutaneous lymphoma experts, always a favorite part of the program. So I encourage you to write your questions down so you can have them answered by our experts. We'll take a break and then we'll come back and do our peer-to-peer networking breakouts. And this is really an opportunity for all of us to come together, to connect as individuals who are living through this experience of cutaneous lymphoma. And there's really power in having the opportunity to talk to others who are walking the same path as you. And so I encourage you to join us for the peer-to-peer live sessions. And then we'll have our inspirational patient story, which is always uplifting. And every year we try to tap someone new and different. So it'll be a new perspective and hopefully inspiring you to live your best life with cutaneous lymphomas. And then we will conclude and say goodbye for this year. So a little bit of background, and for those of you who have been around for a long time, this will be a review. You've heard this before. For those of you who might be new, it will be a nice way to begin our program today and kind of give you an idea of who we are at the Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation. And for many of you, I love this slide because we are not just one type of cancer. As many of you know, we are a rare disease, and that has some implications and some challenges to it. We are a blood cancer, so we fall under the lymphoma umbrella, and our cancer happens to impact the skin. So there is a whole skin disease component that we share with other skin conditions. And you have to combine these three areas to come up with cutaneous lymphomas. And from a patient living with it, what it's like to really live with this condition brings pieces of all of these things together. So we have to look at everything. So a little bit about the foundation. And for those of you who may not know me, I'm also a patient. I've been living with mycosis fungoides now for over, 30 years. I was diagnosed in 1991. And came to the foundation in 2008 as a volunteer on the board of directors, and then joined the foundation full-time in 2011. So we've recently updated our vision. As you can imagine, over the course of time, things change, and we need to be flexible and update and to be more appropriate for where we are today. And our new vision is a life free from the burdens of cutaneous lymphomas. And our mission truly is to be the voice of the cutaneous lymphoma patient community and all care partners and family members who are also impacted. We strive to empower you to be your best advocate, to be able to make the right decisions, through our education and our support services, and then to bring our collective voices together to impact decisions that can transform and change all of our lives. And promoting research that is focused on addressing the most critical needs in cutaneous lymphoma. And I'll talk a little bit about the patient experience data, but this is so critical to bring that kind of research data to the table. And so I'll share a little bit about that in a minute. So I mentioned that the Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation has been here for a long time. This year in 2024, we are actually celebrating our 25th year in existence, which is quite an amazing feat. When you look at the statistics for nonprofit organizations, generally they don't last longer than 5 years. And especially when you're dealing with a rare disease that's very complicated, it's amazing that we are still here. And we are very proud of our history and our lineage. Our founder, Judy Jones, worked collaboratively with Dr. Stuart Lesson to really bring the voice, the connection for the patients. And over time, we've grown, we've expanded, we're using technology. We're here today serving everyone around the world, which is amazing. And there's still so much more work to do. But share a little bit about a couple of our global projects as we get a little further into the presentation. But really the goal, I think, in a lot of ways over the next, who knows how long, right? As long as we need to be here, is to make sure that everyone, no matter where they live, has access to good specialists in the field. All of the therapeutics that are available, can participate in clinical trials, is able to pay for their therapies, and is connected to the community. So that's our goal. And as I said, this is really one of my favorite slides, because it truly is at the heart of what we do at the foundation and the core of who we are, and in service to everyone who's impacted by this disease. So first and foremost, we're here for you, the individual, to educate, to empower, to support you, to be able to make the right decisions, the best decisions, and to connect you with others so that you don't have to travel this journey alone. But then in addition, and almost not on top of, but side by side, is bringing that collective voice of all of us from around the world together to really advocate for better treatments, more clinical trials, better access, more experts in the field, and raise awareness about what it's truly like to live with cutaneous lymphoma. Many of us have been living with it for many years, and there's a lot of ups and downs, and that needs to be brought to the attention of all kinds of stakeholders in the healthcare arena. And then, of course, research, to unite around the research and to bring forward, we can support what would be most impactful from a patient perspective. What is the kind of therapeutics that would be of benefit? We can bring that voice to those who are doing research. And what is it like to live with this disease? How do we access our therapies? These are all the kinds of research data points that we can pull together as a collective and bring those to the people that are making decisions and doing research projects. It's really powerful. And for those of you who know us, there is so much information that we offer out on the website and all the programs and services that we do every month. Every month we host, or every other month actually, we host a live Q&A like we'll be having today. Every month we've established 2 different peer-to-peer networking groups. We've expanded so that we can cover more time zones and make it more accessible to folks. So if you're not familiar with our website, I encourage you to go out and check out what's out there. We have a really robust video library on our YouTube channel, and you can look for different topics and different webinars that have been done for different things, different experts. So I really encourage you to check it out, and there's so much information, and it's a good place to go to see what's also happening and what events are coming up and what's going on in the realm of cutaneous lymphoma across the board. So I spoke a little bit about some new projects and what we're working on to bring our community together globally, but also to have an impact for people no matter where they live in the world. And we are working together to create the International Coalition of Cutaneous Lymphomas, which is a global network of patient organizations who are interested and dedicated to serving the cutaneous lymphoma patients in their country. So there's many lymphoma patient organizations, but they don't necessarily have the in-depth knowledge or publications or materials specific to cutaneous lymphoma, because it's, again, if you think back to that chart, it's rare, we cross skin and lymphoma, so it's much more complex in a lot of ways than other lymphomas. So bringing together these organizations who have a desire to serve patients in their country, but being supported with information, with connections that are already available that we can support, no need to reinvent the wheel. But this is a picture from our meeting last year of our interested groups. And we have, let's see, we have Australia, the Netherlands, Switzerland, France, Italy, Portugal, Denmark, Spain, Canada. So we're looking to build this and to be able to bring to all of you, no matter where you live, in your language, connect you to the physicians in your country and a place that you can go locally. And then the idea is collaborating together as a network, we can then create and work together on projects to bring access for therapeutics, more clinical trials, some things that are on a bigger, broader scale that may go beyond one country, and it may be in a geography, or it may be a collective at a global level. So it's really exciting, and we look forward to launching maybe early next year. We have a meeting in October to finalize some of those pieces, so keep your eye out on that. And then the other really exciting project we've undertaken is the Cutaneous Lymphoma International Nurses Network. And bringing the nurses together, they're so important in the care for all of us living with cutaneous lymphoma. And the nurses to date are not connected, and they have a wealth of knowledge, but there's no place for them to go to share, to collaborate on a professional level, to educate each other, and to be educated about cutaneous lymphoma. So the Cutaneous Lymphoma Foundation has embarked on an initiative and a program to bring all the nurses together internationally, and we're working with the steering committee of 4 nurses, 2 from the US, 1 from the UK, 1 from Australia, and we are looking forward to officially launching our program and initiatives to serve the nursing community early next year. So that's exciting. Oh, goodness gracious, I went too fast. So here we are again, you know, as a rare disease and a small patient organization, we can't do this work alone. We need to collaborate, create alliances, and we're stronger if we can bring this cutaneous lymphoma voice back to some of these larger organizations that are doing great work, whether they're in the patient advocacy arena, umbrella organizations like Global Skin, Coalition of Skin Diseases, Lymphoma Coalition, or it's the professional clinical societies like the International Society of Cutaneous Lymphomas, or the United States Cutaneous Lymphoma Consortium, the physicians. So working together and again, being representative of the patient voice to all of these groups helps us have broader access and raise awareness and have impact on what's happening in the realm of cutaneous lymphomas. So I spoke a little bit about the importance of the patient experience and bringing that data together. And I'm really excited about the 2 projects we've been engaged with for many, many, many years. The Global Skin Grid Project, which is the global impact of dermatologic diseases. And you may have participated in a survey that was sent out earlier this year. We're in the final phases of validating a brand new survey instrument that measures the impact of living with a skin condition. And why is this important? Well, that is never really measured in any way right now. Most of the surveys that are capturing impact of a skin disease on a particular patient is looking at it from more of the clinical perspective. You know, how's your disease progressing? How are you responding to therapies? What's going on with your disease? All very important to capture, but no one is capturing what is it really like to live with a skin condition. And that is what the GRID project and the PRID survey instrument is doing. And your participation is so vital and critical, because then collectively, if we can collect from your perspective responses to this validated survey instrument, that gives us the opportunity to present evidence back to researchers, back to regulators, back to those who are making decisions about therapeutics, about clinical trials, to share the collective impact of living with the skin condition. And I know sometimes it can be challenging to, oh, why do I have to answer this survey? This is overwhelming. I've got survey fatigue. But I will share with you that without that kind of data, we have a hard time being heard in these clinical arenas, in the regulatory and policy arenas. So it's an opportunity for us as the patient community to collectively come together and bring our voices to these individuals, to these institutions who are making decisions, and to share what it's really like to live in this, with this experience. And similarly, like I said earlier, you know, we sit in the skin world and in the lymphoma world. The Lymphoma Global Patient Survey has been conducted every other year since 2010. And we just finished the 2024 survey. Many of you may have answered those questions. And if you did, so grateful for that. We are in the process of analyzing the data, and we'll be coming out with a cutaneous lymphoma report probably sometime this fall. And we'll do a webinar at some point to share the highlights and what we learned from the responses to the survey. But again, the idea is to be able to pull out the cutaneous lymphoma responses. And then down the road, if we are able to pull the responses from the GRID survey and the Global Patient Survey, because they come at this from two different perspectives, but pull it together, then that gives us a really good 360 view of what the experience an individual living with cutaneous lymphoma is having. And that becomes evidence, scientific evidence. We can publish this data, and that really turns heads and helps to change clinical practice. It helps to change companies coming into the space to develop new therapeutics. It helps to change having more clinical trials in the space, more therapeutics that get approved by regulators. So your voice is so important. And again, look forward. We will do our best to bring back to you what we've learned, what we're doing with the data, how we're presenting it. I've had the opportunity over the last many years to present some highlights from the Global Patient Survey and to physicians, and it has been an amazing experience to see the light bulbs go off in their head. And they go, wow, I didn't really think about it that way. Maybe I should change the way I engage with my patients. So your voice is making a difference. And I encourage you, if we ask if you can take the time, it's usually not more than 20 minutes, a half an hour to respond. And it really does make a difference. Your voice counts. So September is cutaneous, well, we've coined it Cutaneous Lymphoma Awareness Month, but it is Blood Cancer Month. World Lymphoma Awareness Day is today, and we have Rare Cancer Day at the end of the month. So it's an opportunity for all of us to share, if you're comfortable, talk about cutaneous lymphoma, talk about the experience, talk about how being part of the foundation has had an impact for you. All of these little voices, all your voices, no matter where you are, to share with family members and friends makes a difference, so that maybe the next person gets diagnosed just a little bit faster. They find the expert just a little bit faster. They get referred, they get the right treatment plan a little bit faster than perhaps many of us who took years to get a diagnosis. So you can play a role. You just have to share a little bit about your experience with the people around you. And again, together we really can make a difference. None of us can do this work alone. And the foundation, as much as we think we can make a difference, we can't do it without you. And the reason that we're here is because of all of you. And it's been such an honor and a privilege as a patient to be the leader of this organization and the amazing team I have the privilege of working with. There's only 6.5 of us that do all this great work. And there's certainly no way I could do all this stuff by myself. It really does truly take a village, and you are all part of the village. So together, we can make a difference for everyone living with this rare form of cutaneous lymphomas. And how else can you do that? You can follow us on all these social media platforms. We just launched our Instagram page, which is very, very exciting. So if you're on Instagram, please follow us, comment, engage with us where you can. Our YouTube channel is really, really rich with videos and content. I urge you to check that out. And our online private and secure community is open to patients and care partners, where it's an online platform where you can exchange with each other. And I encourage you to join that. And again, it's private, it's secure, and it's just for patients and care partners. And we couldn't do this work without our corporate sponsors and our supporters. And today's program is helped to bring this to you by our partners at Kyowa Kirin and Mallinckrodt Pharmaceuticals. Thank you. You know, the technology behind being able to do all of this requires a lot. And so their support helps us bring and leverage technology to be able to bring these programs to you today. So I encourage you to learn everything that you can. Bring your questions to the Q&A this afternoon. You have access to some of the most brilliant experts in the field who will be happy to address your questions. Connect with each other, become part of our community, and have some fun. So with that, I will turn it over to the rest of the program, and we'll see you at the finish line. Take good care. See you a little bit later today, everyone.